You're absolutely right. This is not just for the belt. This is more than personal. He defeated my brother. So this fight, I took it personal.
Por el momento es la más importante de su carrera porque el Canelo tiene, en México decimos, tiene la espinita clavada en el corazón y sabe que es la oportunidad de la venganza.
And after that, I'm gonna get that title and I'm gonna give to my brother back because it belongs to my brother.
Fight fans, welcome back.
No hay enemigo chico ni hay invencibles.
Revenge stories are somewhat common in boxing. Whether it's rectifying a painful loss.
It took 3 years, but Adonis Stevenson just erased what's haunted him for his entire career.
Avenging the defeat of a role model.
January 22nd, I'm fighting him, then Ali comes into the ring and says, get him for me.
Or restoring the pride of a nation.
It's over, and revenge is sweet.
But many forget that back in 2013, still a rising talent looking to break into the big time, Saul Alvarez was already on a revenge mission of his own.
He beat him in his own town, in Mexico.
He just called you out in the ring.
Canelo, yo quiero, tu quiero Canelo.
Though this one wasn't about a childhood hero nor national pride, it was blood-related.
Ese día le va a decir a su hermano Rigoberto, estás vengado, hermano.
¿Te acuerdas que te prometí que le iba a ganar?
The great thing about him is that he wants to fight the very best now. I'm holding him back a little bit, but he's ready. He's ready to face Mayweather. He's ready to face Miguel Cotto. He's ready to face Lara. He's ready to face anybody at 154.
In a thriving era of welterweights and junior middleweights, fight fans were spoiled for choice.
There's a left hand. Another left hand. Punches around and there's a big shot.
Oh, body shot there by.
And whilst it was still very much the money era, with Floyd dominating the lucrative Cinco de Mayo date for at least a couple more years.
The Mayday main event comes to a close. Mayweather versus Guerrero.
The best of a rising bunch, without question, was a hard-hitting 22-year-old from Guadalajara, whose devastating style was already throwing question marks at the elite.
Well, there's a lot of excitement around this fight. You're being called the great Mexican hope, the Mexican Elvis. Describe what your rise to this point has been like.
Yo siento que yo no soy normal y no vine a ser normal a este mundo, vine a hacer esto que estoy haciendo.
We have a special fighter on our hands.
In contrast to Floyd's brash, outspoken persona, young Canelo was distinctly cool, calm, and collected.
I have you right on the borderline of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Where do you see yourself right now?
Thank you for the compliment. You know, I'm working very hard to be on that list, and I hope to become the best in that list.
There was one man, however, another promising virtuoso, that had successfully managed to get under his skin over the past few years.
En los principios, la gran promesa del boxeo mexicano, y esta foto es en la nevería legendaria que siempre hemos tenido.
It was already no boxing, no life. The moniker that the superstar now bears on his forearm.
Él me empezó a decir que quería ser peleador cuando iba a costar 11 años de edad.
Saul was, after all, the youngest of 6 boxing brothers. The oldest and the role model of the bunch was Rigoberto Alvarez. 15 years older than Saul, Rigo had organized Canelo's very first fight, before winning a world title himself by 2011.
Entonces cuando vio al rival, pues lo vio bastante alto y más grande de edad, y ya se me acercó después y me dijo, Chepo, pero así como diciendo, ay, mijo, pues te lo van a matar, ¿eh? Cuando peleó, Chepo solo se acercó y me dijo, Rigo, dice, te felicito por el hermano que tienes, dice, es un diamante en bruto.
Este hombre, el hermano del Canelo, que quiere dar una buena demostración ante el galán de extraordinaria presencia física. Estamos en la división de los pesos medios, pero qué tremenda izquierda y lo manda a la lona. Un solo golpe bastó.
A proud moment for the family and for the region as a whole.
Espectacular, va a quedar en la retina de todos los aficionados presentes.
However, the celebrations wouldn't last, as Rigoberto would suffer defeat in the first defense of his WBA strap.
Like this, I cannot miss when I'm
gatecrasher? Austin Trout, a slick, high-flying Texan who took Alvarez apart in their Guadalajara hometown, winning all but one round.
As a matter of fact, Canelo was in the other corner, biting his nails the whole time.
Only a low-quality version of the fight remains, so the intricacies are hard to break down. But it is what happened next via the beady-eyed prodigy at ringside that would be even more interesting.
Desde ese entonces deseo estar en el ring control. A la hora que esté peleando voy a disfrutar todo ese momento.
The American now had a bounty on his head, topping the Golden Boy's hit list, a space or two ahead of Floyd. But there was still more fuel to add to the fire.
What's your hit list? Who's on your hit list?
This is Kirkland, Lara, Vanes, Cotto. Maybe it's not necessarily in this order either. You know, Canelo.
Trout can take punches. You know, I've known about Trout for years. When he was a sparring partner for Antonio Margarito, I've seen him spar with the middleweight champ, Sergio Martinez. Man, he can hang with big dudes.
I feel like I could turn him all night, let him run into something ugly, and that I feel like Canelo's not on my level.
No doubt, Trout wanted all the smoke, and if going to Mexico to fight the hometown hero wasn't enough, then fighting Miguel Cotto at MSG was the ultimate baptism of fire.
Carlo Lamaggi told me that to fight Miguel Cotto at the Madison Square Garden is like fighting the devil in hell. What was it like for you to do it?
Trout, you about to get your head knocked off, boy. This is puro Puerto Rico, man.
Very important for Trout to keep his nerves. As a boxer, your reflexes do not cooperate when you're very nervy.
You know, I've been to hell a few times, so it is like being home.
Hanging in the balance, Austin Trout fighting for respect, and now to prove that he belongs on the big stage.
Once again proving to be tougher and craftier than most anticipated, the rangy southpaw jabbed and moved his way to a unanimous points win.
And still champion Austin. No.
Overcoming the odds, the Texan had disrupted boxing's best-laid plans.
Cotto was supposed to fight Saul Alvarez, who was in the arena tonight. Second time he showed up for a fight thinking that... glum. Yeah, looking a little glum because he thought he was going to have a pay-per-view match against Miguel Cotto.
And now, rubbing salt into the wound, he called out the young Mexican prodigy in Spanish for the world to see.
Now Canelo Alvarez has been sitting ringside here this evening, and supposedly he was going to fight Miguel Cotto. Now you have won this fight. Would you like to fight Canelo?
You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, hey, Canelo, yo quiero, tu quiero Canelo.
Austin Trout just called you out in the ring. Would you take that fight? Is that a possibility for September 15th?
Like after the fight, Austin Trout did call out Canelo. Do you think that's going to be the next fight?
2 fights have fallen through, so he's just wanting to see which fight is the best for him right now.
Being a grudge match that both men were eager to settle, this one was an easy one to make.
Could you break down, please, what a Canelo fight looks like?
You know, this is something similar to this. It's just, yeah, he's a little, younger, so I think it'd be a good fight. I think he gets hit a lot easier than Cotto does, though. So.
And with Mayweather scheduled to fight Guerrero on May 4th and Pacquiao absent since the Marquez defeat, it was the most credible, the most intriguing, and probably the most dangerous fight available.
It's showtime!
I think the world wants to see Austin Trout against Canelo. The world just wants to see Canelo.
But yeah, I think he has to get through a guy like Austin Trout, which is going to be no easy task. And I think Golden Boy's worst nightmare was for Austin to win that fight versus Miguel Cotto.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Champion versus champion. Undefeated fighter versus undefeated fighter.
Pues una revancha de equipo. Trout nos quitó un título y ahora vamos a quitárselo nosotros. Más que nada, que es el mismo hermano.
Throughout the build-up, the personal vendetta loomed, but the bad blood didn't spill out into the press conference nor into the face-off.
Lo único que les voy a decir es que estamos listos para ganarle a Trout el próximo sábado y que va por ti, Rigo. Gracias.
And you know, he's done what he's supposed to do with everybody they put in front of him, so the credit to him for that. But at the same time, I'm not cut from the same cloth as those guys.
La revancha está de sangre, se puede decir. Cuando lo vi en la rueda de prensa, pues ya querer estar peleando para ver quién es el mejor.
Instead, any animosity was fed into the pressure cooker, ready to explode upon the opening bell.
Understand where you are. San Antonio, Texas may be neutral territory in theory, but in reality, the majority of fans that'll be there at the Alamo Dome are there to see the Mexican star.
50,000, maybe even 60,000 people there. They're going to be chanting Canelo. Don't think for 1 second that judges don't get influenced by the crowd. So if it's a close fight, I think Canelo's going to get the benefit of the doubt on the scorecard.
Remember, we are in Texas. It's been known as a cauldron of controversy when it comes to combat sports over the years.
I mean, I have the one-punch knockout, but nobody's been able just to walk me down and take what I've given them.
The fight would open as a bull versus matador-style chess match, where Trout was busier, Canelo was far more threatening.
Trout's one of those guys that's very easy to underestimate, and I wouldn't count Austin Trout out of anything.
The fans, of course, will react to anything Canelo does. Oh, a nice jab from Canelo. That stinks. Trout comes back with a straight left of his own.
Estoy seguro que era más complicado Trout que Mayweather.
He's just slick, man. He's hard to hit. I mean, he'll give him trouble. It's just...
Alvarez showcased an impressive combination of both defense and offense. And whilst his foot movement wasn't quite as slick as Trout's, his upper body and head movement was a joy to watch.
Very difficult, southpaw, very awkward. I don't know if Trout's gonna be able to withstand the power that Canelo has, because he's strong, you know.
And there is Canelo dropping Trout with a straight right.
The most iconic moment of the fight came just 12 seconds into the 7th, as a lazy Trout jab was outweighed by a thunderous Canelo straight right.
You know, the kid was strong. First time I ever been down. So I was pretty hurt. I was hurt enough to fall.
Goes down for the first time in his professional career. And Canelo now on the attack.
Far more than just a meme, it was an all-important momentum swinger of an incredibly close fight.
You came back, though, and a lot of people's accounts, you did better than him in the round.
You know, I felt I had to make that up, so, you know, we came back strong.
Trout's controlling this round, and Canelo keeping his hands very low.
They say revenge is a dish best served cold, and whilst it wasn't quite the brutal icing that Canelo had hoped for,
there's a 1-2 combination by the southpaw, and he gets jacked to the jaw again by the uppercut.
Amidst the blazing San Antonio heat, on this night, it would be enough.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. Floyd may fight Canelo now.
Why?
I think he got stamina issues.
Explains that they believe Alvarez is tired, and this is some of the evidence of that.
I wouldn't be surprised because Floyd got a gas tank. I wouldn't be surprised if he fighting now.
Trout, 20 seconds left in this bout.
And the crowd screaming every time the guy threw a shot, and he thought it was a lot larger than what it really was. And I think the fight was a lot closer than what they had.
Going to the judges' scorecards here in Texas.
Despite the scorecards being incredibly harsh on Trout, the Texan stood gracious in defeat.
About 118 to 109.
It indicates that he gave almost every round to Saul Canelo Alvarez. I do not agree with that.
El orgullo de Guadalajara, Canelo.
Thing is, we walked into so much crap before, you know, there's so much stacked up against me that I knew if I didn't just take him out, they wasn't going to give me the fight.
Christodoulou, among the judges, had it 118-109. Dave, we thought the fight, I know I did, and I think you did as well, thought the fight was a bit closer.
118 to 109 is absolutely ludicrous.
I have no excuse today. I'm going to take it like on the chin as a man and just come back fight.
For Canelo, this was the win that ultimately gave him the nod to face Money May in September.
I'd love to come back again and fight here in San Antonio. And with Mayweather, what else can I say? I've said it all along. I'm ready. I'm ready to fight him. And, you know, if he wants to do the fight, let's do it.
Before year end, however, both men would be picked apart. Canelo falling short to Floyd.
Simple, I couldn't catch him. He's very elusive. He's a great fighter. And that's what happened today. I could not catch him.
And Trout outclassed by Arislandi Lara.
He don't want it. He don't want it. Lara told us if he could hit Trout right, he could knock him out. Well, he knocked him down. Again, it was the straight left hand.
From here, whilst the big fight still came, the Texan would find his place somewhere just below elite level.
Bang! Down goes Austin Trout with a big shot from Charlotte.
I mean, I'm not defined by my results. I'm defined by the risks I take. And I've taken the most risks out of anybody in this division.
As Canelo, contrastingly, shot off into the stratosphere. Boxing is life for Canelo, but boxing is also life for Trout. And even today, mixing it on the bare-knuckle circuit, there are still chapters to be written and respect to be earned.
Fought Canelo in the Alamo Dome in a unification. You beat Miguel Cotto in Madison Square Garden. What would a BKFC belt actually mean?
Winning this belt will make me like the Deion Sanders of combat sports. You know, two-time world champion, that's not too shabby.
A likable character with a warrior spirit who provided that interesting and very necessary hurdle for a future Hall of Famer.
Es un logro más para mi familia, para mi equipo, pero sobre todo para todos ustedes, para todo México.